Good morning. My name is Stella Natufe, and I work for the City of Chicago, Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection. Welcome to the BACP Business Education Workshop webinar series. We have adapted our regular business education workshops at City Hall into these webinars until further notice. On behalf of our Commissioner, Rosa Esperano, I want to inform you that business licenses can be processed online by visiting chicagobusinessdirect.org. If you are a part of the BACP Entrepreneur Certificate Program, you can get credit for joining this webinar by sending an email to bacpoutreach@cityofchicago.org. If you want to learn more about this program, please visit chicago.gov/business education. To help guide your business and employees during Chicago's reopening process, please visit chicago.gov/reopening. Also, BACP and the City of Chicago's Office of Emergency Management and Communications created Biz Emergency Alerts. You can opt in to receive targeted emergency alerts for the business community. If you are interested, please visit chicago.gov/business alerts. We would like to encourage all of our attendees to ask questions. Please use the chat box and send your questions to all panelists. There will be a Q&A session at the end of this presentation. Today's webinar is entitled Home Occupation Licensing Overview, presented by BACP. I will now turn this webinar over to Esau Oduno of BACP.
Esau, you're on mute.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I will be conducting this presentation. My name is Esau Arduino. Today's presentation is a home occupation license overview. The agenda for today for this presentation is the overview of the home occupation license, recent changes to the home occupation ordinance, licensing process, the do's and don'ts, resources, and Q&A at the end. Overview of the home occupation license. What's a home occupation? Home occupation means the accessory use of a business or commercial nature of a dwelling unit by the person or persons residing in such dwelling unit. The term home occupation does not include persons who, as owners or employee, perform administrative, clerical, or research work in their home for an entity whose principal place of business is located somewhere else. Nor does the term home occupation include any childcare institution, daycare center, part daycare facility, group home, daycare home, or group daycare home that is properly licensed by a state agency or by the City of Chicago. Issuance of home occupation license is prohibited when the home occupation is the principal use of the dwelling unit. The home occupation must be accessory, incidental, and secondary to the principal residential use of the dwelling unit. The home occupation would change the residential character of the dwelling unit or adversely affect the character of the surrounding neighborhood. The total square footage of the home occupation exceeds 300 square feet or 25% of the total floor area of the dwelling unit, whichever is larger. Activities not supported by a home occupation license. any repair of motor vehicle, dispatch for compensation of any type of a motor vehicle, animal hospitals, astrology, card palm reading, or fortune telling, kennels, stables, bird keeping facilities, barbershops or beauty parlors, dancing schools, restaurants, or pop-up food establishment, massage establishments, caterers, catering, food preparation, shared kitchen, funeral chapels or funeral homes, crematorium, mausoleums, medical or dental services, a public place of amusement, sale of firearms, antique firearms or ammunition, weapons dealer, firearm training or instruction, warehousing, welding or machine shops, any activity that requires a children's service facility license. Legal duties of a home occupation licensee. Conduct the home occupation completely within the dwelling. However, an attached or unattached accessory building or accessory structure such as a garage may be used for incidental storage of materials, supplies, and business records if the accessory building or structure is entirely enclosed, no chemicals, hazardous materials, base materials, or unfinished goods or products are stored. Business records and supplies must be in enclosed boxes, file cabinets, or other containers. Square footage limits are not exceeded. Prohibited acts. Allow the home occupation to become the principal use of the dwelling unit. Add a separate entrance for the sole use of the home occupation. Display signage or any other evidence of operation of the home occupation. Make any structural alterations, install any equipment that change the residential character of the dwelling, of the unit. Allow the home occupation to permanently occupy more than 300 square feet or 25% of the total floor area, whichever number is larger. Produce or emit any noise, vibration, smoke, dust, or other particulate matter, odorous matter, heat, humidity, glare, or any other effect that unreasonably interferes with another enjoyment of their residence. Prohibited acts continue. Hire, retain, otherwise permit more than one non-residential employee to work within the dwelling unit in connection with the home occupation. Allow more than 2 patrons or non-resident employees at any one time. Allow more than 10 patrons or non-resident employees in any combination during the 24-hour period. Permit any tractor trailer delivery. Permit or accept more than one bulk delivery per day, such delivery to take place between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Subject to ordinance 2021-332 passed City Council on April 21st, 2021, and goes into effect on June 25th, 2021. Key changes to the home occupation ordinance. No longer makes a distinction between a single-family residence and multiple dwelling unit building for max occupation of the home occupation. Increased square feet limits now 300 square feet or 25% of the total floor area. Allows for construction and landscaping businesses to be based out of the home, but storage of hazardous materials in the unit or accessory structures is prohibited. Allows for the direct sale of products on display with shelves or racks. Extends bulk delivery window to 6 p.m. Licensing process. Decide the type of legal entity is best for your business. You should consult an attorney or CPA if you are not sure. This is the number one decision as a business owner you have to make is decide the type of legal entity your business will have. After you decide that legal entity, register your business with the necessary federal and state agencies. Currently, we are processing all business license applications online via our Chicago Business Direct website. Starting July 6, 2021, we will resume processing in-person business license application in the Small Business Center at 121 North LaSalle, room 800. Do's and don'ts. Do's. Conduct the home occupation completely within the dwelling unit. Only storage is allowed in an accessory building or structure. Don'ts. Do not display signage advertising the home occupation. Do not produce or emit any noise, vibration, smoke, dust, or other particulate matter, odorous matter, heat, humidity, glare, or other effect that unreasonably interferes with any person's enjoyment of their residence. Some resources, Chicago Municipal Code. Here's the link to that municipal code. The home occupation is can be found under Chapter 4-6-270. How to apply for a home occupation license. Currently, like I said, is through Chicago Business Direct. And here's the link. Starting July 6th, we'll be opening to the public for in-person business license consultations. Again, my name is Isa Orduno. I'm a business consulting supervisor here in the Small Business Center. And here's my information. If anyone has any questions. And that concludes my presentation.
Questions come in. Are beauty products allowed to be made at home and then sold online?
Beauty products are not allowed to be manufactured in a home, at home.
Okay, great. Another question is, if I obtain a home occupation license and then I move my business to an office space, say a few months later, do I have to then apply all over again and pay a new license?
Business licenses are non-transferable. So if you obtain a home occupation and then grow your business, that you move to a commercial establishment, you will have to apply for a new business license. The license fee will be prorated.
A question. I have an interior design consultant. Am I able to use my virtual business address for a business license address?
You're allowed to use a virtual address as long as you're able to post the business license at the entrance of that establishment. If an investigator walks in and says, "Where's your business license?" you should be able to, or whoever's at the front desk should be able to point at the wall and to show that the business license is being displayed. The other option is just apply for a home occupation if it fits within the criteria of a home occupation.
The question, how much is the business license?
A home occupation license is $250 for 2 years.
What are the restrictions for who can apply for a home occupation license?
The individual applying for the home occupation license must have a current government issue ID with their home address on it. So if you're recently moved, you have to go make sure get an updated ID that shows that where you're residing currently. The address shows on your government issue ID.
Question about storage. Is a side shed okay for storage?
As long as it's when you store your materials in there, that it's completely enclosed.
Does a life coaching business need an occupational license?
If you're not providing any type of services that are regulated by the state of Illinois, Department of Financial Professional Regulation, then you need a business license from us. Usually a life coach will obtain one.
If I have a home-based business, must my home address be disclosed in public records?
Yes, the address for where we issue the home occupation will be public record.
Is a lash studio considered a beauty parlor?
It will fall under that definition as personal services, skincare services. Yes.
You display the slide detailing the number of employees and patrons again, please.
So the number of employees that you can have is one non-residential employees. You're not allowed to have more than two individuals, non-residents of the home in the home.
Is inspection required?
No, there's no inspections required for this business license.
Can I get a license if I owe parking tickets?
Per the municipal code, a business license cannot be issued to someone that has debt with the city. If you apply for the license and we conduct our due diligence and we do not find those parking tickets, then the business license will be issued. Eventually, Department of Finance, they do conduct every night that check automatically, and if that is associated with the business owner, then a hold will be placed on their account.
Okay, great. Do I have to have a home-based business license for a floral business?
The floral business, it all depends. Are you making the arrangements or maintaining the flowers on at that at your home? I would say no. That will not be allowed because it doesn't fall under the new ordinance. You're not having your product or merchandise display in a rack or a it's not being displayed. You need, if you need refrigeration, it will not qualify as a home-based business.
Okay, great. Another question is, will the city key ID be accepted as a form of identification?
Yes, it's a government issue ID. We do accept city key ID.
If you're only doing business online e-commerce, but doing that out of your home, do you need a home occupation license?
Yes, you do need a home occupation license. Just want to be clear, any business that is located in the city of Chicago is required to obtain a business license unless they are regulated by the Illinois Department of Financial Professional Regulation, and that we don't have a specific license for that activity.
Another question, when you said no clerical, do you mean third party like virtual assistants?
One more time, can you repeat the question?
Sure, no problem. When you said no clerical, do you mean third party like virtual assistants?
I don't understand that question.
If
Is
whoever
it,
asked the questions maybe wants to put something in the chat or the Q&A to clarify the question, that'd be great. Another question, is there a way around public disclosure of my home address if my business is 100% conducted online and there's no foot traffic of any kind?
if you're applying for a home occupation, there's no way around it. We have to disclose the address where the business is licensed from.
For childcare, how do you apply for a license and how long does it take to have your license? How often do you have to renew the license?
It all depends. So home daycares are licensed by the state, DCFS. A home daycare center, we license that business. It is possible to have a daycare center in a residence, but the property will have to be deconverted by obtaining City of Chicago approved architectural drawings to deconvert and go through the whole licensing process for a home daycare center. That license is good for 2 years, and then the cost is $165. There's a $40 fingerprint fee for each individual getting fingerprinted, and the business must pass all inspections.
If you do remote design work from the home, but do not expect clients to visit your home, do you need this license?
Yes. Again, any business operating in the city of Chicago, even if it's from home, does require to obtain a business license. If our investigators do get a complaint from someone, they will go out and inspect and enforce.
The question, does the online payment accept Discover card as far as a payment type?
Our online system, I believe it does accept all major credit cards. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, another question, are there zoning restrictions?
The zoning ordinance actually looks it, basically the zoning ordinance sees the refers to a home occupation as a permitted use. So if it falls under if the home occupation business activity, it's allowed under a home occupation license, then it will be allowed.
Question, can I use the address of my storage facility instead of my personal address for public disclosure?
No, you cannot use the address of the storage facility. These storage facilities are usually licensed, or from a zoning perspective, only for storage of if it's residential, for residential customers. They cannot be used for business purposes. It's in the municipal code under the zoning chapter.
We have a request for that last contact information page of the slide. If you could put that one back up. And then another question about baking from the house, selling cakes.
Selling cakes. Our home occupation license does not allow any type of food preparation from a home. You definitely want to check with the state if it falls under the cottage law, and then contact the Chicago Health Department to see if you need to be registered for that activity if it's permitted.
Where can a beauty product seller make their products legally?
They will have to find a location that is properly zoned for manufacturing.
I currently have a home-based business license, but as I am a renter, I am moving. This is why I wanted to know if I could use a virtual business address instead. That was a follow-up question to that original question we went through.
You can definitely apply using these virtual office spaces, but again, you have to make sure that you're able to display the business license at that location.
Great. If you are a freelance hairstylist that styles, braids hair, no cutting or coloring, would you need a home-based license?
That activity will not be permitted from as a home-based business.
Please specify which type of homes, such as condos or single-family homes, allowed for business.
We license all types of homes. It can be a single-family home, a condo, townhouse, or a multi-dwelling, apartment building. Again, during this update of the home occupation, that distinction was taken out. As long as your ID says that you live there and you do live there, we will give you a home occupation license.
Another question on that, tickets. What if I'm on a payment plan for tickets?
If you're in a payment plan, we would just need to see proof that you're current on the payment plan.
So I couldn't teach yoga to more than 2 people at a time?
Correct. Per the ordinance, you're not allowed to have more than 2 people at any given time at your home as a home occupation. No more than 10 people in a 24-hour period.
Is it possible to use real estate business regarding home occupation business?
Real estate businesses are regulated by the Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulation. So they will have to make sure they're in compliance with IDFPR. I know one of the requirements for IDFPR for residential real estate brokers or managing brokers is that if they run their business, they have to have any signage on the exterior. Per the ordinance, no signage is permitted from a residence.
Okay, great. I want to start an online store selling all goods. Does this fit within this license?
If they can be more specific as to all goods, but general merchandise such as clothing, items, shoes, you can store them at your home as long as you comply with the square feet restrictions. No type of food can be sold from a residence.
Is an event planning business permitted as long as my home office is less than 300 square feet?
In event planning business, it's allowed as long as you're not having any type of events at your home. Just to clarify that square footage. So now, for example, if you have 1,000-foot home, under the ordinance will allow you to have up to 300 square feet, or it says 25%. The other option. So 25% of 1,000 is 250 square feet, but under the new ordinance, you're allowed to have, in this case, 300 square feet because it's a greater amount of both. So, for example, another one, it's you have a 2,000 square foot home. If you're kept, 300 will be the max in another situation, but in this case, because it's 2,000, 25% of that will be 500 square feet. So that's the most you can use because it's the greater of the two, either 300 or 25% of the total square feet of the home. And that includes also your storage, if you have any storage. So combine the home office plus the storage. We would take it that total square footage into consideration.
The question, can a home occupation license be used in conjunction with a cottage license? Example, allowed to bake at home under the cottage license and allowed to use the other license.
Well, we don't license the cottage food. That's completely separate. So please do not mistake it with a home occupation. If you're running another type of business that falls under our home occupation license, then we will license the activity. We will not make reference to your cottage, food cottage activities because we don't license that. That falls under the state, and you must be in compliance with that.
Do I need home-based license if I'm selling as a manufacturer's rep or drop shipping product?
Yes, you will need a business license to do so.
Questions? And if that is, I can display the license at the location of the virtual business. Is that still considered a home-based business?
No, that will not be considered a home-based business. You'll be applying for a most likely a limited business license to operate out of that location. And that's why the business license must be displayed at that location.
I run a nonprofit business formed in Nevada and want to do business in Chicago. Do I need a license?
It all depends what exactly the not-for-profit is doing. But if it's a not-for-profit, a foreign not-for-profit, in order to conduct business here in the state of Illinois, it has to be
The
registered.
nonprofit is event planning and consultation. Sorry, I just saw that part.
Okay, so the not-for-profit, a foreign not-for-profit needs to first register with the state of Illinois, Secretary of State, in order to conduct business within the state. If you're charging a fee to your customers, then you will need a business license from the city of Chicago.
Clarification, the license is non-transferable, correct?
Correct. Licenses are non-transferable. So if you move to a new location, you will need to apply for a new license. The last thing you want is to be conducting business. You have an upset client or a neighbor and calls, makes a complaint against your business. The city or the investigator will go out, and even if you do have a business license, it's at the wrong. It has the wrong address. You might be cited.
Okay, thanks. Is there any periodical checking inspection by the authority for the compliance of the business regarding home occupation?
The home occupation does not have any inspections. Again, only if there's a complaint, our investigators will go out to inspect or follow up on that complaint. I know sometimes if you're selling merchandise, the Illinois Department of Revenue might come out and do an on-site visit, but that's at the state level. You can follow up with them.
I plan on starting a food cart and would like to store equipment in my residence. Do I need a separate license for the storage aspect?
No, if it's a mobile food prepare vendor's license, the individual, the business will be licensed where the food is being prepared. Under that license, the mobile prepared food vendor, the business or individual is allowed to store their cart in their home. And no additional home occupation license will be needed.
A few questions coming in again about the home address. So even with a registered agent, our home address will still be exposed. In what capacity will it be exposed?
Our licenses are public records, so it can be found in City of Chicago data portal. So it's public record. It's out there. It will be out there. We cannot do anything to erase that or remove that home address. It has to be disclosed.
What about using import and export business at home occupation business license?
We have to ask, go into further details about that. Are they, what exactly they're exporting or importing to the US and how is that working? It might not be allowed. It all depends. And they can send me an email or we can set up a consultation to talk about their business activity.
How long does it take to get a license? Can I operate while waiting for the license?
You're not able to operate for a business license. Per the municipal code, you need to have a business license in order to operate. Currently, we are behind in our license review and issuance. But again, it's starting July 6th. Our center will be open to the public, and you can come in. And a home occupation license usually can be issued the same day. So I recommend when we do open to the public, more information will be shared. Get here as early as possible so you can be one of the first ones to be seen. Everything's in order. Most likely within an hour, you can walk out of here from City Hall with a business license in your hands for the home occupation.
Okay, great. Thank you. Another question, a few questions coming in about home daycares. They're asking about the square footage and where can a person explore this topic further? So get more information on the home daycare.
Home daycares, again, are regulated at or licensed at the state level with DCFS. I would encourage that those individuals to contact DCFS or go to their website and try and get more information about obtaining home daycare.
I own and reside in a mixed-use property under commercial zoning and wish to apply for a business license. Is it still considered a home occupation license?
If the individual is residing in a legal established apartment, then yes, it will fall under as a home occupation license. If the individual is going to be operating from the storefront, then they will get the appropriate license for that activity.
If the business address is a UPS store mailbox, but the business is operated out of the home, you still need this license, right?
We don't license businesses from UPS locations because we know that it's a PO box number. So we will not license that. We need a physical address. And we during our license, we conduct due diligence. We check the address against our city records or license records, and we see that it's a UPS store. We will not license it.
Do notaries need a license?
Public notaries are licensed. The act is licensed under the state, so no, they will not need a license unless they're doing providing services that are beyond their public notary license. Then they do need a license at that point.
What if you have a shared kitchens license? Can it be used for the home?
Well, shared kitchen users are licensed. We license them from their home address just in case there's a complaint or there's someone gets sick and they complain to the health department. We need to know where they located at. So all shared kitchen users are licensed from their home address. And that's the only license they will need, the shared kitchen user license. They will not need to obtain a home occupation license.
I'm a licensed esthetician by the state. Do I need a license?
No, unless you're selling merchandise, you do not need a license. Those services cannot be conducted in your residence. It's not permitted.
Do I need a license if I want to use online training workshops regarding freelancing businesses at home?
Yes, a business license will be needed.
Okay. Another question. I have my EIN number, website, business cards. Am I missing anything else? I'm assuming they mean to apply for the home occupation license.
Correct. So most likely, if you have an EIN number, you already decided what type of legal entity you have or will have, and that's been established. Then the next step is to apply for a home occupation license if you're running a business.
There's a question coming through regarding a state license and the difference between the city and the state license.
So some activities will fall under, for example, the home daycare. It falls under the state jurisdiction. DCFS will license that. If you're a real estate managing broker, real estate broker, appraiser, CPA, you will fall under the Illinois Department of Financial Professional Regulation. That's a state license, and we wouldn't license those activities unless the individual is providing services beyond the scope of their state license, and those activities or additional services are not licensed by the state. Then we will step in and license only those activities that are beyond their state, the scope of their state license.
And just for clarification, a notary who is licensed and is a sole proprietor does not need a home occupation license, correct?
Correct.
I think that is all the questions. We did have a few come in about the slides. This webinar has been recorded and will be posted on www.youtube.com/Chicago BACP. Isa, thank you for your time. This was a great webinar. If anyone has additional questions, the contact slide is in there right now. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.